What is my superpower? It's my network. If you are not getting actual reviews and posting them online, that's a great way to toot your own horn because somebody else is saying how great that you are. Be here, be in the present, and deal with what's going on that you can control that's right there in front of you. How do they love their job? One, they find a gain within their job. Is that a hurdle that you can overcome? Can you overcome something that is just that big? Of course you can.
Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, depending on where you're connecting from. I see several people are still in the waiting room, so let's wait for a couple more seconds so the system lets everyone in. And I think now it's time to welcome everyone at today's Why You by Steve Richman session. Wow, I'm super excited for this one. Steve, hi, it's good to see you.
We got Mike Olden. Are you kidding me? Mary Ripley's here. We got Rich, Roberto Botello. Oh, we're gonna have a good time today, my friend.
Yeah, so we invited Steve to speak at one of our sessions last year, and we were so impressed. It was a really great experience. So that's why we have him here for the second time, and hopefully it's not the last one. I'm not gonna talk about today's agenda. This is going to be Steve's part, so he'll definitely be the best one to describe everything we're gonna discuss today. But I just wanted to remind everyone about some housekeeping rules. So we love to communicate with our audience, and basically you have several options how to do this. You can either chat with us, you can send us your reactions, and also we do love questions. So please, if you have any questions, you can submit them either through the chat or through the Q&A box you can find at the bottom of your screen. Also, this session is being recorded, so if you will decide to rethink it, you'll be able to listen to it once again, and we usually send out the recording to all the attendees in 2 to 3 business days. Okay, before we proceed and I'll pass the mic to Steve, let me remind you who we are and what we do and why we are awesome. We are Andy Mortgage, and we've been in the industry for 20 years now. We're celebrating our anniversary this year. And last year, we've been officially verified as #1 non-QM lender by Scotsman's Guide. Now we are partnering with more than 8,500 brokerage companies, and we've been trusted by our partners. We've been rated as 4.8 on Google. We're very proud of our turnaround times, which are just 24 hours. We have a huge variety of different loan products, 20 plus, and we've been operating nationwide, coast to coast. Also, wanted to mention that we also have our sister company, Imperial Fund, which was founded in 2014, and this fund helps us to securitize our loans. And speaking about being nationwide, as you can see, pretty much all the map is covered. So we are licensed in almost all the states, just a couple licenses pending, but still we can do business in almost all the states. And you can notice some asterisks near some of the states, and this means we can do business purpose loans in those states without a license. Well, okay, it's time to pass my mic to Steve Richman, nationally recognized speaker. I'm pretty sure if you are in the industry, you know this face, you know this person, because Steve has been presenting also nationwide, and he presented to more than 500,000 people across the United States. I think it's close to 1 million now, right? But
We're at
yeah,
about 800,000. Yeah.
wow, that's impressive. Okay, with no further ado, Steve, the floor is yours.
Okay, folks, I'm glad you're here. I need you to switch over, allow me to put my thing up there, and we'll do that. We do that. And I think that we are good to go. Folks, My name's Steve Richman. How you doing? Here's a couple things just as we get started. Number one, you can get a copy of this deck. Don't you worry about it. If you're logged on, we're going to send it out to you because I'm going to get a copy of the email list. I'll send it out to everybody. So you say, hey, I hope it was good. Two, if you haven't figured it out yet, I'm pretty casual, comfortable, and laid back. Got a question, ask a question, just throw it into the chat box, or you can unmute yourself and say, hey, Steve, be quiet for a second. I got a question. If you're, I don't want to do that. Yeah, at the end, I'll say, are there any additional questions? And typically people don't have additional questions, but I'm more than happy to answer anything that you got. But I got a question. My question is 6 letters. My question is 2 words. My question is 1 question. And your answer to that question is so very important. And that question is what? Why you? Why you encompasses everything. Why should you be my loan officer? Why should I work for you? By the way, why should I hire you? Why should I marry you? I don't care what it is, but out there we are representing ourselves 24/7. We are putting our best foot forward, and we need to have the answer, no matter who's asking it. Why you? And that's what we're going to talk about today. And I want to talk about it at the beginning just a little bit differently than I have in the past, but we just went through, because we just went through the NFL draft. If I don't know if anybody was watching the draft, but oh my gosh, Shedeur Sanders, what's going to happen? Hold on a second. Time out, time out. The draft is the big question of why you? Why should my team draft you? Why should you play here? Why should you want to play for this team? Why should the fans root for you? So let's start with football for a second. And one of the greatest football players of all time is who? None other than Sweetness, Walter Payton. And Walter Payton told us many, many moons ago, and we've all learned this, we've all been told this in one way or another. When you're good at something, you'll tell everyone, but when you're great at something, they tell you. And I see a lot of LOs doing, hey man, I'm so good, everybody should know me. That's what's going on. Act like you've done it before. This isn't the first time, right? We've all heard those sayings. But the reality of the situation, and that's why there's an asterisk there, is they have to see you, know you, or heard of you to know that you're great. You can be as great as you want, but think about it this way. Hold on, I'm going to change it. We go and we say, but they should know me. I do such a great job. But they should have heard of me. The real estate agent should have talked about me. Folks, do me a favor. Stop shooting all over yourself. Stop saying this is what the real estate agent should be doing. This is what rate should be doing. This is what the market should be doing. Folks, this is the way it is. And the way that it is, sometimes we actually have to self-promote, okay? We got to stop shooting all over ourselves. When I think about it, there's Kobby Lane. And I don't know if I don't know. Does anybody here know who that is? I'm seeing one person's nodding their head, but a lot of people, I have no
I know
idea.
for sure.
You know for sure. Why? I'm going to tell you why, because you're an international kind of woman. That's why you know who he is. Did you know that Kobby Lane is that guy? Oh, okay. Yeah. Do you know he's the #1 TikTok influencer in the world? So if you look at me right now and say, I've never heard of that guy, guess what? The #1 TikTok influencer you haven't heard of, and therefore he needs to what? Promote himself more so that you've actually heard of him. See, people will ask a question. I just think it's when a tree falls in a forest and nobody hears it, does it make a sound? That's the wrong question. The question is, when a tree falls in the forest and nobody saw it fall and nobody heard it fall, how does anybody know that they have to go clean it up? You have to know about it, see it, or hear it to know that it exists. You might say, oh man, I would never go wait in a restaurant for this guy, Alain Ducasse. I don't know, he's French. I don't know how to pronounce his name. But, I wouldn't wait an hour to go do that. He is the #1. He has more Michelin stars than any other chef on planet Earth. Yet because this guy's on TV, we're going to go to what? His burger bar. We're going to Gordon Ramsay's burger bar all day long because he's on TV selling pots and pans. Think about that for a second. We know who the better chef is, but someone's better at self-promotion. And that's where we are. Sometimes you got to toot your own horn. Does Deion Sanders Too soon? Does Deion Sanders toot his own horn? You better does Taylor Swift toot her own horn? You better believe that they do. So the first thing I want you to get really comfortable with when you answer why me, yeah, it's nice to be a little bit humble, but you still have to have a good reason and let people know how great that you are. And how do you do that? Well, one great way to do it is not for have you to talk about how great you are. It's about other people to talk about how great you are. Hey, Mike, how are you? And Sean, I hear that you're guilty of shooting yourself, but we're going to stop that right now. It's not going to happen anymore. See, I can read the chat box while I am talking, no problem. But if you are not getting actual reviews and posting them online, that's a great way to toot your own horn because somebody else is saying how great that you are. Should I do it on LinkedIn? Should I do it on Experience? You pick your own place to do it. I don't care where you do it, but you need to start to get online reviews. I got to tell you how I know that this works. I posted something on LinkedIn on yesterday. I didn't even mean it to say, hey, will someone talk about how great I am? And all of a sudden, people started saying, I agree with what you're saying. And wow, I really love your presentations. And then when one person saw it, another person said, I do too. I've gotten more positive publicity in the last 24 hours than I have in probably the last 24 years. I didn't know it was going to happen, but it's simply from an online review, and that stuff goes viral. The other thing I want to tell you about these online reviews is this. If you really want to make them work, stop using words and start using video. See, because nobody reads anymore online. They just look at videos. So instead of saying, can you write me an online review? If you just say, hey, we're sitting here, can you just real quick, 15 seconds, what was it like to work with me? Oh my God, I love working with Steve. He was so great. He made everything so easy. Boom. You get online video, you get video testimonials and you put them online, it's going to be so much more successful. And look at that bottom word right there on that list. You need your own YouTube channel. The number two search engine in the world, number one is Google. Number two happens to be what? YouTube. How do I purchase a home? How do I get a mortgage? How does a first-time home buyer work? Whatever it is, you need to be educating people on your YouTube channel. And then what else? And then they start looking at your channel and they see what? Online testimonials, video testimonials sitting right there. Make sure you're adding that stuff. It's going to help your business big time. And if you're still like, but I don't want to talk about me, it's not about me, just applaud others. All you have to do is say, hey, Mike Olden's on this call. That Mike is a great guy. You know what I was going to say when I go, Mike is a great guy? Mike's going to go, hey, thanks, Steve. I think you're great too. Boom. By applauding others and talking about how great those people are, they will end up talking about how great you are. It's a fantastic way to do it. And lastly, you can always go out and get yourself a designation. And you can do it as a mortgage professional or as a real estate professional. But we have a certified divorce lending professional, right? So I call on what? Divorce attorneys. I'm going to go out and get my CDLP. Whatever it is, there's a designation for it. And that says, I don't have to say I do this. I have the designation, so I'm good to go. So right there, we're talking about the importance of tooting your own horn and getting out there in front of people. So I hope this is going okay for you. I hope I'm not speaking too fast, too slow, not sarcastic enough for you. I'm pretty sarcastic as it goes. Just if you got an issue, throw it in the chat box and we'll find out. But let's break it down, man. She's not allowed to break dance anymore, but she's going to break down why you, my friends. All right. This is why you. And when I look at it, people go, I tell you why me. Where's the glass? There you go. I'm kind of a big deal. Thank you, Ron Burgundy. Ladies and gentlemen, there are 5 kinds of big deals of why you, of who you can be. That's what it is. I'm going to break it down to 5. Number 1, are you a celebrity? If you're a celebrity, good for you. You're probably not on this call because people are calling you. You don't have to get in front of them. They already know who you are. That's what a celebrity is. Rob Chrisman, I would say that he's a celebrity. Barry Habib, he's a celebrity. Everybody knows who those people are. I'm trying to become one. I'm not quite there yet. I don't know who's throwing the heart out there. Maybe it's towards me or maybe you love Barry. I'm all good either way. But I live in a place called North Carolina, and there's an LO here who used to play basketball for NC State. He is a local celebrity because he played basketball in this area. If you go put him in the middle of Utah, people would say, I have no idea who, he's not a celebrity there, but he's a local celebrity. So celebrity doesn't just mean nationwide. You can be a celebrity amongst the group in which you're trying to operate or the area in which you're trying to operate. Then you have what? People who just have a great story. You know, people are like, oh, Steve, you're a motivational speaker. I'm not a motivational speaker. I don't have a great story. You see that poor girl? You're down there in Florida. You see how she was surfing and she got the arm bit off, and now she's a motivational speaker because she says, I got my arm bit off by a shark, but I'm still out there surfing, and people are going, that's motivational. I'm like, I do loans. How motivational is that? But you got people like this is Thuan Nguyen, and what he does is just amazing. He's done over 90% of all the Vietnamese people in the United States. He's done their loan. Why? Because he emigrated from that country, not speaking English, taught himself how to speak English, taught himself the mortgage business, and he's gone out and he's gotten all of that. I mean, just such a, and that's the short version of his story. That's Tina at the bottom, and she tells a story about how she was sitting there and having hard times and family and this and that, and was basically homeless and raising her kids, and this is what she did. So imagine if I fought this for my kids, imagine how I would fight for your loan. I mean, if you have a great story, you have a great, I don't have one. You know what, I love my son, Zach. And when my son was applying for college, he said, Dad, you're hurting me getting into college. I said, why? He goes, because every college I apply for, they ask, write an essay. And you know what the essay is? What's the biggest thing you've had to overcome growing up? It's like, my dad loved me too much. He's like, Dad, you never beat us. You always had food on the table. You've always had a job. He's like, come on, man, give me a hurdle so I can get into college. He got to college. He's all good. Don't worry about it. But I don't have a great story. So the next one that I look at is this. Are you a subject matter expert? I think I'm sort of coming into my own as that subject matter expert. But Tony Thompson, if you're trying to do loans for minorities, guess what? Tony knows everything about minority lending in the United States of America. If you're trying to get better at what? At artificial intelligence, Ginger Bell is an expert, a subject matter expert when it comes to that. And that's why people are going to listen to her. So if you're one of those three, fantastic. If you're not, well, maybe you're saying, I'm very unique. Here's the problem with being unique. If you're first to market, if you have an original product or an original technology, yeah, that is unique, but it's time restricted. Because at some point, hey, you were there for 2 weeks. I see it works. Now I'm going to copy it, and you're no longer unique. So if it's first to market product, technology, skill set, people will duplicate that. What they can't duplicate is your network. And I'm here to tell you that if you ask me, what is my special sauce? What is my superpower? It's my network, because nobody can duplicate my network and the relationships I have with other people. And the greatest thing I do in my networking, and Mike, I know you're sitting out there because I've done this to you, is I connect people within my network to other people within my network, and then I step away. That is just a great way to do it. Hi, I know you're in my network and you need this. I know you're in my network and you'll fulfill that. Let me introduce the two of you, and you're both happy. Why? Because you were both in my network. Your network is your most unique aspect that you can give out there. And if you're not a celebrity and you don't have a great story and you're not a subject matter expert and there's nothing unique about you, then you live in a lake. And what's that lake called? That's called Lake Rest of Us. The rest of us are going out there at Lake Rest of Us and going, well, we have great rates, great products, and great customer service. Folks, it's time to get out of the lake and start finding what makes you unique, what makes you an expert, what is your great story that you can share, and how can you start to become a celebrity. So I'm just checking that and just made an intro this morning. Good for you, Mike. I love it. And Sean, I'm with you. I have, Sean, you say something here. You go, hey man, I suffer from ADD. You know what, Sean? Guess what? So do I. And you know what I did to that? I took that uniqueness and I figured out how to, instead of just talking at Excel spreadsheets that I can't stand looking at time and time again, and I need to start to do something else, and all of a sudden I can't get this off of there. Let me go get that. And I can't do that. See, my ADD just took over. I said, I'm going to go be a speaker because when I'm speaking, that forces me to focus on exactly what's happening in front of me. So I brought my unique aspect of having ADD, and this is how I apply it to my business and my profession. So Sean, thank you so much for sharing that. I think that's great. So now we go, okay, why you? Let's get into the why. Well, when we talk about the why is all about Simon Sinek. Okay, Simon Sinek, what's your why? If you actually listen to what he says about what's your why, it's not about what's your individual why, it's about what's your corporate why. That's how he started. So I think it's being a little overused. I'm being real honest. I mean, the guy's awesome. Don't get me wrong. He is a celebrity. But I want to flip that why and take that W and turn it upside down and make it a my. So I'm going to turn why to my and say, what is it about you? And why do you do this job in the mortgage profession? Because I'm here to tell you that none of you put when you were 10 years old, dear diary, when I grow up, I'm going to be a loan originator. I know you didn't say that. I know that's what it is. And I'm not saying, why do you have a job? I'm saying, why do you have this job? The job that you're doing today, why is this your job? And I really think there's only 4 answers for this one. Okay. I like it. Folks, I hope you like your job. Because I promise you, the more you like your job, the better you're going to be at your job. I love what I do. If you like it, it shows and it will help. I hope that you like your job. I'm good at my job. I hope that you're good at your job because if you're good at your job, other people are going to want to work with you. And if you're not good at your job, you're not going to be doing it for very long. So you know why? You know why I'm not playing for the NBA? Because I'm not good at that. Okay. But I'm good at this, right? So I like it. I'm good at it. Now, some of you are going to say, I do it to help people. Or some of you are going to say, I do it for my family. That's not the right answer. You're not in the mortgage business to help people because there's 100 jobs where you help people. You could be a nurse, you could be a doctor, you could be a teacher. I do it for my family. Why? Because it helps me make money to put food on the table for my family. But there's 100 jobs that you could get that will say, what? Hey, I made money, so now I can feed my kids and I can put food on the table. If you're saying you do this because you help people or you're doing it for your family, I want to expand your mindset a little bit here. The reason you do it is because it gives you a sense of blank when you blank. It gives me a sense of purpose when I help others. That's why I do this job, because it fulfills my sense of purpose, because it allows me to help others. You see how you just connected your internal with the external? That's what I'm talking. It gives me a sense of pride when I care for my family. The internal of my sense of pride based upon what? The action that I do of caring for my family. That's why I do this job. It gives me a sense of accomplishment when I close a loan. It gives me a sense of connection when I get thanked. See, it's a little bit bigger, but it's not, you didn't do this job to get thanked. You did this job because it gives you the sense of connection when you do get thanked. It gives you a sense of purpose when you do help others. That's what we're talking about right here. So those are 3 of them. And you know what the 4th one is? Money. I'm telling you, it's okay to make money at what you do. It's a means to something else. I do this because I can get an income that I want to make from it. And that is absolutely an okay reason. But I'm here to tell you, there's a difference between the first 3 and the last 3. And if you're doing this for the money, and it's okay to do that, I'm telling you, if you like what you're doing, you'll make more money. If you're good at what you're doing, you'll make more money. If you get more of a sense of accomplishment, pride, and self-fulfillment from it, you'll get more money and you'll close more loans. There is a difference between the first 3 and the last one. So I simply ask this question. If you won $10 million in the lottery, what would you do? And this is for people 60 and younger. Okay. If you're 70 years old, okay, I know what you would do. But if you're under 60, if you won $10 million, what about taxes? Tax-free $10 million. Okay. Would you retire or would you go to work the next day? Because I got to tell you something. People that I know that have made $10 million, you know what they're doing and they're under 60. Do you know what they're doing today? They're all working today. I worked with somebody, he sold a company. I was there. He sold a company. He was a partner. He sold a company for $100 million. I had a check for $50 million in my hand. It was a Friday afternoon. He took the weekend off, but Monday morning he was sitting at his desk working at a new job, working at a new company. What we're looking at is that truly, that question is the difference between a career and a job. If you're just saying, I'm going wherever I can make the most money, I don't care if I'm helping people. I don't care about the sense of accomplishment that I have. I don't care how good I'm. If McDonald's said to you right now, hi, we'll pay you $20,000 more than doing what you're doing, then guess what? You're just working a job today. A career is something that we are continually trying to get better at because we have that internal drive to make that happen. Big difference. By the way, as a consumer, would you rather work with somebody who says, I'm doing this just for the money, or I'm doing it for something else? Right? I'm not saying that the money's not bad, but I'm looking for somebody I want a career person who's going to do this, not somebody who goes, hey man, once I get 2 more loans, I'm going to go do something else. Because now I'm looking for somebody who's in it for the long run. But money is important. So does money buy happiness? Well, Daniel and Angus, they did a study on this in 2002. And their study said, yes, those people, once you hit $75,000, it will add to your happiness. Over 75,000, no difference. And then Matt Killingsworth said, no, I'm going to study that. And then he came out a little bit later. I think it was around 2012. I apologize if I have the date wrong. And he says, can money buy happiness? And in his study, he comes from Wharton Business School. He says, it does buy happiness up to $500,000. So for every dollar you make up to $500,000, you're that much more happy. And they asked him, they said, well, why does it stop at 500,000? He goes, well, I don't know if it stops, but nobody in my study made more than 500,000. So I have no idea what happens after that. So he got a bunch of people who make more than $500,000. And he said, guess what? He found that they're happier too. So money doesn't guarantee happiness, but money can buy happiness. It can buy happiness, but it doesn't always buy happiness. One, money can help buy health. What do I mean by that? If I'm healthy, I'm going to be more happy because I'm not going to the doctor. I'm on the prescriptions that I need to do to make me okay. I'm not worried about all this other stuff. When you're healthy, it's easier to be happy because you're not worried about your health. When you have the money, you can buy security and ease. You know that you're going to have rent, or your mortgage payment you're not getting foreclosed upon. You're not getting evicted. It makes things a lot easier when you know that your car isn't going to break down and you're able to put gas in your car to get to your job. It takes that anxiety away. And it allows you to go out for a nice meal. It allows you to go to a baseball game or do something that is fun. So when we're looking at it, it doesn't guarantee you the happiness, but it gives you access to those things that are associated with happiness. So these are the 4 that we're looking at. And yes, money is important, but when I say I like it, I know right now some people are getting a little burnt out. Man, I really like what I do, but man, it's been a tough 18 months, 24 months. I'm a little burnt. If you're feeling a little burnt out, go read the book Fish. It's a really good book. I really enjoyed this book. It's a lot like Who Moved My Cheese, so it's not really all that deep. But what they did was they studied the people who work at the Pikes Peak Fish Market. They're working fish. They smell, they're covered in slime, it's always cold, and they love their job. How do they love their job? One, they find a game within their job. How do you make a game out of it? How do you look at trying to do a loan for this person and say, it's like having a puzzle, I accomplished a puzzle. Find the game. Oh, I'm a little burned out. Guess what? Go make a bet with somebody. I bet you I can close more loans than you can. Boom, boom, boom. You make a bet, you're playing, you find the game. Be there. Stop shooting all over yourself. Stop worrying about that. Rates used to be at 2.5% and inventory used to be good and home values used to be lower, and stop worrying about what's going to happen to the CFPB and where our rates going to go in the future. Be here, be in the present, and deal with what's going on that you can control, that's right there in front of you, and choose your attitude that says, you know what? I'm going to make today a great day. I'm going to face this with a smile because I'm trying to help other people. That's my attitude. Isn't how much money am I going to make? It's who can I help today? Because that gives me that sense of pride, that sense of connection. That's where we are. And we do that by making other people's day. It's not about me. I'm sitting here speaking, and I know this. I always fight till I get somebody to smile or I get someone to laugh. Because once I make you smile or laugh, and that means I'm doing my job and I've made your day because I brought a smile to your face. Folks, if you're a little burnt out at work right now, try and do those 4 things. It's going to make your life that much better. How do you get good at something? Well, first, what are my goals? What am I trying to accomplish here? And most of us say it's about the money. How much money how much money am I going to make this year? At the end, and we look at the end of the year. Stop waiting for December to see if you're having a good year. And I want you to introduce this concept. It's a Japanese concept. It's called Kaizen. 2 words, Kaizen. Kai means change. Zen means good. What small changes can I make every day that is going to make my life better, my life good? Have you ever heard the question, how do you eat an elephant? The answer is 1 bite at a time. Stop worrying about how do I make $1 million and say, how do I make my life better today? What little thing can I do that's going to make my life better today? And when you do that for 365 days, those 365 little things add up to a very big thing and is going to make your life better. I always look at micro goals, not macro goals. What can I accomplish here and now? And then I ask this question, which is more important? What you know, what you can do, and how you make them feel. And the answer is they are all very important, but they're not equally important. You got to get number 1 and 2. But number 3 is the one that's going to put you over the top. If you don't know what you're doing, I don't want to be with you. If you can't do what you say you're going to do, I don't want to be with you. But if you make me feel good about it, then I'm going to stick with you, right? So you need the first 2 to get them, the third one to keep them. So if you're saying to me, what do I need to know? 1, you got to subscribe to Rob Chrisman. I already told you he's a celebrity. RobChrisman.com, #1 mortgage blog in the United States of America. Free. 2, sign up for econ70.com. Elliot Eisenberg, I love this. Every day, Monday through Friday, he says, this is what happened in the economy today, and he does it in 70 words or less. It's fantastic. He'll send it to you for free. Check that out. I think you're making a total mistake if you're not looking at an MI. You don't even have to work with the MI company, but every MI company has a ton of training on their website, and it's all free. I don't care which MI company you go to. You look on there, there's going to be a tab across the top. It says training. Click on that and it'll say, here's 20 courses that you can take for free. I'm telling you, you're missing that source if you're not looking at I'm not saying look them up for rates. If you want to talk about rates, go right ahead. But they're going to train you how to do things, and they have some great training out there. If you don't like reading and you like listening, I like the Loan Officer podcast. It's a guy named Dustin Owen. He had one earlier today and I listened to it. I really like what Dustin's talking about. I find it very realistic. And the other thing that I like about him, some of these people in their podcasts and whatnot, they sell, sell, sell. I need to be your coach. He subtly does it. He does it nicely. So I do like that about it. When I try and find out just what's going on in the world, I like the Morning Brew. It basically says, here's the top 7 headlines every single day, gives me a paragraph or 2 on each one. It says, click here, you can get more. I don't get sucked down to watching. I got to tell you something. If you watch Fox News or MSNBC or CNN, I don't care which one you watch, they're going to repeat the same story 18 times and beat you over the head with it and be really negative. Morning Brew says, here's the top 5 headlines. This is all you need to know. Move on. And when it comes to AI, which one should I be on? ChatGPT, Gemini, Copilot, Claude? I don't care. Pick one, figure out how to use it, and make it work for you. Okay? So that's what you need to know. The next question is, what do you need to do? And I'm not going to talk to all of these things right here. So I'm just going to talk about, well, maybe I will. S equals R divided by E. What are we looking at there? Well, we all want customer satisfaction. How do you get customer satisfaction? It's a mathematical formula. It's reality divided by expectation. Satisfaction, S, equals R reality divided by expectation. And it's very hard to change the reality that's out there, but it's easy to set the expectation. And when I say set the expectation, what you should never be doing is saying, I'm available 24/7, because you're going to get that 3 a.m. drunk dial. Oh my God, what's happening? You're not going to want to wake up and have that conversation. Here's the expectation. I'm available from this time to this time. But I say this, put your expectation. This is what I expect from you, my customer. I expect you to respond to my emails and my texts and my phone calls. I expect if you have a question, comment, thought, or concern, you're not going to tweet about it. You're going to give me a call so I can answer it for you. And folks, if it's truly important, go measure it. You know how you're going to distinguish yourself from the competition? If you measure what percentage of your loans go to the settlement table on time, if you're able, when you look at a customer, you say, hey, I know our rates are pretty close to the others, but 92% of my loans go to the settlement table on time, go ask the competition what percentage of their, oh, a lot of them go. 92% will beat a lot or a dodging answer anytime. If it's important, measure it. Know how to use your CRM. And everybody goes, oh, I did a SWOT analysis. I have all these weaknesses. Folks, play to your strengths. Do you want to know why I do this for a living now? Because I think I'm a pretty good speaker. So what did I do? I'm playing to my strength instead of saying, oh my gosh, so-and-so is better at an Excel spreadsheet than I am. They're better at math than I am. How do I get better at math and Excel? You know what I did? I said, how do I go out in public speaking and dare them to be as good as me? Play to your strengths. That's where you'll find opportunity where your competition isn't. And how you make somebody feel, it's like getting the hiccups. What? It's like getting the hiccups, man. I want to make you feel heard. I want you to make you feel important. I want you to feel like you're in the know and that you're in control and you're very confident. I don't want you to be overwhelmed. I want you to be underwhelmed and positive. How do you do that? When you want to make somebody feel heard, repeat it back to them. When you want to feel them important, put your phone away so that you're concentrating just on them. When you want to make them feel in the know, we should be over communicating. Your customer should never be calling you and saying, where do we stand? Has the appraisal come in? You should be over communicating so they're always in the know and you give them a choice. We can do A, we can do B. Here's the circumstance. You tell me which one you want to do. And by the way, let me tell you, I'm going to reassure you, we are getting to the settlement table on time. I'm going to make your life very easy. And I'm always going to talk about the smart things that you did. I'm going to look at this. Rates go up. I'm not going to say, see, aren't you glad that I locked your loan? You were smart to lock your loan when you did. You were smart to purchase that property because home values have gone up. Make them feel positive about their choices by you saying the good things that they did, and they're going to love you for it. So when we put those things together, we've gone at boom, 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 boom. But this last one, and I already talked about it, it's about connection. I'm connecting your purpose for helping others, your pride for caring for your family. And we need to make sure that we're connecting those actions to the feelings. We've already talked about that. But we need to connect ourselves to others that we work with. We need to connect others to others, and that's a great way to give back. And we need to connect to people on something other than just mortgages. So I don't have a lot of time to talk about those things right there, but trust me when I say Brene Brown, who's like the genius, she's the best, she's the greatest. This is just her quote, connection is why we're here, period, end of discussion. Folks, it's all about connection. The more we're connected, the better we're going to be able to do. And that's where we are when it comes to connection. The 4 questions, we're good, no problem, but we ain't done. Now, I know I can't see you on camera right now, but I'm going to ask you to actually do something physical. I want you to make a fist, and then I want you to make another fist, and I want you to bring those 2 fists together. Do you see the size of those 2 fists? Is that a hurdle that you can overcome? Can you overcome something that is just that big? Of course you can. Do you know what that is the size of? That is the size of your brain. Folks, we are getting in our own way more than anybody else. This is the biggest hurdle that we have to overcome. And the first thing to do that is I'm going to ask you, don't answer this one out loud, but I'm going to ask you really the hardest question that I could ask you. I want to know where you are on this list. Ability. What's your skill set? Do you know how to do things? And do you know what you should do? That's ability. Willingness. Are you willing to do it? Not are you able to do it? Are you going to do it? If you're someone who says all day long, I don't know what I should do, but I'm probably not going to do it anyway. You're just a genie seeker. You're polishing the bottles, hoping a genie pops out and grants you all your wishes. Good luck to you. I ain't got time for you. But where I see a lot of people, I know what I should do. I just don't feel like doing it today. I'm not willing to. I know I should make that extra phone call. I know that I should send out that email on a Friday afternoon. But you know what? I'm not really willing to do that. These are people, it hasn't been a priority for them. We have not found their motivation to get them to do that thing that they know that they need to do. My son is getting married in September. I need to lose some weight, baby. Yes, I do. I'm going to tell you flat out, it hasn't been that important to me to lose weight for a while, but now that my son is engaged and he's getting married, it's important to me. I'm down 13 pounds. I've always known how to lose weight, but I was never motivated enough until I was what? I got a wedding I got to go to and I got to go look good. So that's when I look at when we say unmotivated. You know what you should be doing, but it's not a priority in your life. So that's where you are. Who do I love? Hey, man, I can do anything if you just tell me what to do, but I don't know what to do and I don't know how to do it. Go find yourself a coach. That's who I say is coachable. The person who says, I'll do anything if someone just tells me that this is what's going to work and what I need to do, that's somebody who needs a coach. And the person who goes, I got the skills and I'm willing to do it, that's your habitual succeeder. Success comes from habits. I'm telling you right now, have you ever noticed every year within your company, it's like the top 5 salespeople are the same top 5 salespeople? Why? Because they have the habits that have led them to success and they're willing to keep doing it because they know that it's going to help them find success. Success is a habit and it comes from habits if I'm telling you, the most successful people do not wake up on a Monday morning saying, well, I don't know what I'm going to do today. Maybe I'll send out a couple emails. Maybe I'll cut a video. Maybe I'll go call on a real estate agent today. No, 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 no. The habitual succeeder says it's Monday. I got 10 phone calls that I have to make by lunch. I got a luncheon that's already set up with this real estate agent. And then I'm working on these 3 loans to get, boom. They have their habits. They do it the same way all the time. And that's what led them to success. And my question for you is, where are you? Because if you're a genie seeker, I can't help you. If you're unmotivated, you got to get yourself motivated and find what the priority is. If you don't know what to do, go find a coach and you'll be able to get over that next hurdle. And if you're a habitual succeeder, keep doing it. But if you're not that habitual succeeder, you got to figure out what's going to get you to that category. And there's a way to break it down. Now, I know this. I got a lot of people talking. You ever feel like, hey, man, I got a lot of people talking to me in my head? Well, if you're a religious person, you call that prayer. If you're a spiritual person, that's self-manifestation. If you're an atheist, it's the placebo effect. If you're a medical student, it's neuroplasticity. And if you're a therapist, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. I don't care what you call it, it's all self-talk. And we are making a huge mistake in the talk that we are saying to ourselves. There's a guy named Jeff Bezos. Ever heard of him? His wife just went to space, sort of, kind of 11 minutes, move past that. But what Jeff Bezos, when he was running Amazon, you know what he said? He said this is a direct quote. I constantly remind our employees to be afraid to wake up every morning terrified. I want you to be afraid and I want you to be terrified. Oh my God, that is not a job that I want. That does not hit my 4 criteria of why I do the job that I do. I don't do this because I'm afraid. I don't do this because I want to be terrified. But if that's motivating for you, if fear is what motivates you, being terrified is what pumps you up, I asked ChatGPT to give me a daily affirmation so that you can say this every day. I wake up every day because guess what? Someone out there is already doing it better, faster, and they're smarter than me. My clients, they're one bad experience away from ditching me. If that's what pumps you up, boom, you got your negative daily affirmation right there. If you want a positive daily affirmation, I'm going to send this to you. Every day, wake up and say, I'm a trusted expert in the mortgage industry, and every day I have the opportunity to change lives by guiding families toward their dream of home ownership. I'm giving this to you. Say it over and over, and you know what? Your brain starts to believe it. It's that neuroplasticity that we're saying. Now, for some of you like me, this is a little too Stuart Smalley. Oh, give me a break, man. I can't say that stuff. That's absolutely ridiculous. That's okay. If that's you, here's what I want you to do. Have you ever noticed when you have dinner with your kids? How was school today? Fine. What'd you learn? Nothing. That's horrible. And you let it go. That's horrible self-talk. Flip it. You know what you should say to your kids? Let me tell you what I did at work today. I helped this family get into a home. I'm their trusted expert, and I showed them how they can provide a safe home for their kids so their kids will grow up and thrive. Da, 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 da. Tell your kids about all the positive, wonderful things that you do as a mortgage professional, and that's your daily affirmation, and it will be a great affirmation for them to hear. Now, there's a guy named Jim Rohn that says you're the sum of the 5 people you spend the most time with. And I don't disagree with that. The people that we spend our time with, they shape us and they make a big difference in our lives. But I want you to add 5 other people. If you don't have these 5 people in your life, it's time to go find them. 1, you need a mentor. Who's somebody that you can ask questions of? Who's more of an expert than you? Who's been there, done that can help you along? You need a mentor. I don't care who you are, you need a mentor. Number 2, you need a mentee. You got to bring somebody else along for the ride to make sure that they're getting it. Okay. And this is Mike. Mike's on the call. This is where I put you. You're my peer. I call you. I'm like, hey, are you seeing this in the market? Have you heard about that? Am I looking at this right? We need a peer, somebody who's going through it with you. Those 3 are the obvious ones. But it's the other 2. You got to find the opposite. Folks, if you want to truly thrive, I need to stop finding middle-aged white men. I know how we see the world, I know how we think, and I know how we talk. You know what I need to do? I need to work with a young female of color, and that will totally expand my horizons. And I don't have any tattoos. I need somebody with a sleeve tattoo of my life so I can think about how does other people in this world, how do they see things? I don't need people that see things the way I see things. I need somebody who's different than me that's going to expand my worldview. I was in Florida talking about that. There was a woman with blue hair. I'm like, you, I need in my network. I didn't get a chance to talk to her because everybody lined up to talk to her, and her network exploded based upon that because she was like, oh, yeah. Folks, you're going to learn more from somebody who's different than you than somebody who's just like you. I promise you that. And talk to people who are outside our industry. I got my friend Jeff. Jeff lives in Atlanta, Georgia. He used to work for the Cartoon Network, and he helped create Adult Swim. He helped figure out that adults actually like cartoons. Man, when he taught me that lesson, I started to realize, wow, the first time home buyer today, they're watching cartoons. I'm going to market myself differently to them. When we look at outsiders, it changes what? Because we're so myopic about mortgage. This is what rates are doing. When we look at how other people view the world and outside of our industry, it opens everything up. The other thing I want to say, if you ever watch the show Survivor, if somebody's dragging you down, vote them off your island. It's going to make your life that much better. It's okay to do it. Make it happen. So the last thing I wanted to talk about is we were talking about juggling when we talked what the agenda was. So there's 9 balls that I want to keep you juggling at all times. Number one of those balls is money. I got to make money count. I'm not saying that money doesn't count, but I also think that while we're celebrating and we're trying to figure out about money, it's all about somebody else. It's about celebrating them. It's about making their day. And if we do that, we're going to find greater success. And one way that we can celebrate them and make their day is call them back. The number one mistake that I see people make is they don't have good follow-up. And I'm telling you, anyone on planet Earth is going to tell you for sales, you got to follow up. I also want you to get involved with a community or a charity somewhere within your community event or a community purpose or a charity. That's going to open up your entire network, and you're doing good back, and people are going to appreciate you for that. And understand that life is messy. Stop shooting all over yourself. Stop telling me what it should be. And I'm telling you flat out, the reason I don't say life is hard, I say life is messy. Because I can't, do you hear that? That's my tabletop. It's hard. It's always going to be hard. There's nothing I can do about it. But if I spill milk, it's just a mess. I know I can clean that up. There's always going to be problems. Life is messy. But if you look at it as messy, it empowers you to make a difference and clean it up. The biggest and most important thing that you have is your name. My name is on every email. My name is on every text. My name is on every presentation that I do. I try to live up to my name. My name is the most important. My name is my currency, and I don't blame anybody else. It all stops right here with me, folks. And when I know this and my name's going to be there on time. Why? Because when you're not on time, you're showing disrespect to somebody else, and you're important to me, and I'm trying to make your day, and therefore I'm going to be on time, and I am it. I am it. You are it. I'm it. The buck stops here, and you're it. You're my purpose for trying to get this whole thing going, and I'm going to do that by having the power of connection. And when we talk about connection, that's what I'm talking about. My name's Steve. There's my email address, my phone number, my LinkedIn, my Facebook. I love to be connected with each and everybody here that is online. Take a minute to go do that. And with that, I ask, do you have any questions, thoughts, comments, concerns about anything we talked about, anything we didn't talk about, or anything you wished we were talking about? Sean, I'm going to give you an answer to that. Is there a survey to figure out what I am? Yeah, there actually is, my friend. It's called the Johari window. Johha. I don't know if it's RRI or one R. I apologize. I don't remember how to spell it, but Johari window. And if you look up Johari window, give me a quiz. There's stuff on there that you can actually take the Johari window and you can ask other people, what do you think about me? And it will tell them what they think about you. And you can see if what you think about yourself is the same that other people think about you. So that's the Johari window. It's a great way to find it. Hopefully that helps you right there. Mike, thank you very much. I appreciate you being here. Any other questions, comments, thoughts, or concerns?
Steve, I was just Googling the Johari window, so I'm gonna throw the name of this technique to the chat so that you
Thank you.
can check this later when you have time. I don't see any, oh, wait a sec. We actually do have a comment.
Yep, I see it.
Yeah, can you address this one?
Yeah, if you're falling into a genie seeker, what can you do about it? The first thing I would tell you is go get yourself a mentor. And because you got to talk to that person. Why am I falling into this? That's not something that it's just like, hey, I'm going to try and do this. That takes a lot of self-reflection and to figure out. The first thing I would do is ask, why are you doing this job in the first place? If you're like, I was just doing it and I don't like it and I'm just hoping it'll work out and we're going to see what it is. This is what I call the Cal principle. When you're facing a situation or a big decision, you can see it, A it, or L it. Cal principle. You can either change it, but do you have the power to change it? If you don't have the power, you either have to accept it or leave it. This industry is what the industry is. If you say, I am not willing to make that extra phone call, I'm not willing to work on Friday afternoons, I'm not willing to call on real estate agents. See, if you know that you should do that, but you're not doing it, and you're saying, I'm not willing to change, you can either accept that I need to do those things, or I'm not going to get good results, or it may be time to leave. And so I strongly believe in change it, accept it, or leave it. But you got to have the power to change it. See, I don't have the power to change that. You got to call on real estate agents, that you got to make connections with customers. But if you say, I'm an introvert and I hate people and I never want to talk to anybody again, guess what? Well, then you don't have the power. You're not willing to change that. That's not going to change. So you either have to accept it or leave it.
Wow,
Yep. Yana, great comment there. Yeah, Johari window. It's a great visual framework to make that happen.
thank you so much, Steve.
Thank you.
We also have like not really question, but comment from Steve. I had 3 people call me recently, one at 3 a.m. with a buyer, another at 4 a.m. 2 months ago, and another one at 4:30 a.m. I usually am available until 4 a.m. Wow,
Good
that's
for you.
impressive.
I have no interest in working with those people. Good for you. I want somebody who's going to call me, because do you see this? Do you see this? This needs its beauty rest. This does not come easy, my friends. My good looks, I need my beauty rest. And you know what? Why do I do it? For all those reasons that we talked about. So I need to be available to other people at 3 and 4 o'clock in the morning. That's not when I work.
Steve, that was an amazing presentation, and honestly, I think it can be applicable not only to mortgage industry professionals, but to basically everyone. So I'd love to finalize our today's session with some wrap-up slides. I promise I'll be quick. I think we've covered pretty much all the questions and comments, but if you still have something to discuss, you can definitely connect with Steve. We'll provide you with his contact information once again. I just wanted to remind you about some upcoming webinars we'll have this month, and it's going to be our new broker orientation on May 13th. This is a monthly webinar we do for our new partners, and for those who just sign up with us, or for those who are still thinking if they want to partner with us. So please join us if you want to learn about our programs and tax solutions. And on May 15th, we're going to do our Advantage Loyalty Program workshop. So if you're working with us, you know, we have our amazing loyalty program. And if you want to learn more how to earn and redeem your points, please join us for this session. Also, I wanted to bring this up as well. It's a QR code to our subscription page. It's very convenient. It's totally customizable. So if you want to receive any kind of communication from us, either rate sheets, news, upcoming webinars, announcements, you can customize it and subscribe. We will be happy to send you very valuable content. And if you're not yet partnering with us, we'll be very glad to work with you. So please go ahead and scan this QR code and become our partner. With that, I wanted to thank everyone once again for joining today's session. Thank you, Steve. It's always a pleasure to have you as a speaker, and hope to see you at our next upcoming online and in-person events. So please stay tuned. Have a good day, everyone.
Thanks. Bye-bye.